My first podcast.
Woohoo! Welcome, everybody, to Integrate Yourself. I'm your host, Allison Pelot, and you can find me at pureenergypdx.com. Today, I'm here with my good friend, Gena. She is a musician. She is possibly going to become a comedian as well. If she's not, I'm going to really encourage her to at some point because she's funny as hell and she makes me laugh so much. Oh my god, all the time. We've been friends now for I don't know about 2 or 3 years now. I feel like this past year went by so quickly it's hard to tell. Since we've been on a spiritual journey together, and I decided to have her on the show today because I wanted her to share her own spiritual journey and how she found her creative expression through that. She's a musician. She's an amazing musician, and she's been putting out some really great music lately on Spotify. I will also share that on the show notes today. And so, with that, I want to welcome you, Gena, to the show. Thanks for
Yay.
coming on. I can't wait to talk to you about all this stuff.
Thank you so much for having me. I feel very honored. I've never done a podcast before, so out there in radio land, I hope you like my voice and enjoy it.
Well, I tell you one thing, I'm honored that I'm the first podcast you've been on. So,
Hey,
um,
you
it's
gotta
not going to be the
gotta get out
last.
there. Yeah,
That's
I hope
right.
so. Man, this
Yeah.
is so fun.
Yeah, definitely. Before we get started, I'm going to put my phone on airplane mode because I don't want to,
Oh, I should
get
probably do the
called.
same thing. Yeah.
I just remembered.
Yep.
Um, yeah, so oh my God, there is so much to talk about. But first, I would love for you to share your story with my audience, and then we can get into how you became what you're in what you're doing now, kind of how that
Yeah.
spiritual path led you to what you're doing today.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, that's a big question. Well, so professionally, I work in social media at a news station, but my dream has always been to be a musician or an entertainer of some kind. I grew up singing in choirs, doing drama, acting. I just love to perform. I love to be the center of attention. So it's kind of natural that now as I'm getting older, I'm leaning towards a career in entertainment and using my talents to entertain. That sounds so condescending or like so cocky. I apologize.
No, you don't have
Um,
to.
okay, cool. So yeah, I have been writing music for a really long time, but I never really was comfortable to put it out there. I'm also very shy about vulnerability. So
Mm,
I am this entertainer. I kind of put this face on and just go for it, but I'm very uncomfortable showing my emotions.
mm,
So putting music out is very challenging. So I always had this drive to do music, the talent to do it, but I didn't want to show myself in that way. So when I was like when I was like 23, the thing that kind of like kickstarted my spiritual journey was I had a really bad breakup. Seems like that's kind of, the painful love kind of unlocks something and you're just so you're forced to show up in your most vulnerable state.
right,
So
right.
I went through this painful breakup and I had a lot of content to write. And so I just my brother's a producer, so I started writing a bunch and it just like the music just started flowing out. I mean, I was writing like 2 songs a day, and some of them were super shitty and some of them were really catchy, and I'd bring them to my brother's SIG and we would just work on it for hours and mold it and create something really nice. Um so yeah, that's kind of like long story short, that breakup kind of kick-started this spiritual journey, which in turn pushed me to pursue my music more. So that's why I'm here today.
Yeah, yeah, and the stuff that you're doing is amazing. I really love it. I was actually dancing in the kitchen to it today.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that the latest song that you have out is really great. I love it.
Yeah, that one is so good. Psychic in New York. that's probably the first song that I can listen to and actually just feel like I enjoy that as well, because I can listen to my music and be so critical, but
Yeah.
that song, I feel like it's just magical, and it's so like, my brother
Yeah.
is a
It
producer and
is.
musician, he took it to a whole 'nother level, and I can actually just jam out to it as, like, a
I love
consumer
that.
too, so, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That is a great feeling, right? When you can
Oh
listen
god.
to yourself and not cringe, like, it's just
Yes.
kind of it's really nice
Yeah.
and
It
actually
is.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you mentioned going through this process of not well, you said first of all, you said you didn't really want to be seen, or it was really hard for you to be
Mhm,
vulnerable and really be seen,
mhm,
especially through music. What happened? uh, how did you learn how to be seen, I guess? Because now
mm,
you're doing it. You're actually really presenting a lot of vulnerability through your music now, and because you're talking about
mhm,
your relationship and how and it in my experience of you is like it's helping you heal those parts of
mm,
yourself by putting out your expression of that through music. So,
mhm.
how did you get to the point where you were able to feel confident enough to put yourself out there like that?
Yeah, god, that's a really good question. Um, I'm trying to think. Well, I know when I shut down, like, I remember at what age I, like, just kind of turned it off. I was in high school and I wanted to try out for the talent show. Oh my god, and I was so scared and so nervous, and I got up there with my guitar. I had just learned how to play guitar, and I literally about 30 seconds into singing, I, like, choked, and I had to stop, and I was like, "I can't do this." Into the mic, I was like, "I can't do this." And
Ah,
the whole like, my music teacher was there, and she's like, "You can do it." And I was like, "No, I gotta go." And I just, like, walked out, and I was like from that moment, I literally was like, "I'm never gonna sing again." Like, that was so uncomfortable. So that was the beginning of not wanting to show my emotions or that just super vulnerable your voice,
mhm.
that's the
Right.
spirit coming through you. So god, I'm trying to think of like when I honestly, I think it was just coming to terms with the fact that I felt like this was part of my purpose and part of
Yeah.
my journey and healing to I have these fears and I'm so scared, but through music, I'm healing that part of myself.
Oh, yeah.
So I really think it's just a part of my self healing journey of just coming to Jesus and knowing that I have to do this and putting myself out there and singing and just going for it. And the more I do it, the more comfortable I get. So it's
Right.
just like I don't know if that answers your question, like if I had a solid moment of knowing that I needed to go for it, but I think it was just over time and through self-healing, I knew that I was gonna get there. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
It totally makes sense. Yeah, because
Yeah.
sometimes it's not like it's not like one like aha moment, like, oh, I get it now. I
Mhm.
can do this. Yeah, it's a gradual shift, right, in your perspective
Mhm.
and how you feel about yourself because, you
Yep.
know, um, you're healing over time. And you and I first met each other at Maddie Moon's retreat and
Mhm.
in Colorado, and yeah, you've come so far from that time.
I know.
I mean, has isn't it crazy how much has happened since that time? Like with everybody
Yeah.
in our group, like it's
Everyone is thriving.
yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
And that is
Yeah.
mainly because we've been working on ourselves, right? And
Mhm.
when I say work, I mean, working in the best sense of the word.
Mhm.
It's been joyful, it's been fun. Yes, it
Mhm.
hasn't always been easy, but it's definitely been worth it. And very enlightening. And I kind of feel like we have this little group and we're all like on this journey together, we check in with each other from time to time,
Yep.
and it's nice to stay connected and feel that support from all you guys too, just
Totally.
like and I feel like that was has been part of what has catapulted all of us in the major transitions and changes we've been making these past
Mhm.
couple years too.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think when I feel when we kind of all came to that retreat, we were all just kind of like, I don't think broken is the right word because, we're never
Yeah.
like broken all the way, but we were in this stage of self-discovery and like WTF is going on. I'm so uncomfortable. And
Right.
then to have like a group of women and to just like kind of like mourn that pain together and then like grow from it and do all this work of like worthiness stuff, feminine
Oh yeah.
stuff, like just coming into our bodies. And yeah, I just think seeing all of our journeys now, like we all just kind of were like, well, shit, man, like life is short and we all have
Right.
gifts to offer this world. So let's offer them. And it's so nice to have a
Yeah.
support group, like, and a group of women especially.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't think
Yeah,
I think it's almost essential to have that kind of support from people, to be
totally.
able to get it to that level of like you said, self-worth in some ways, and really, making your desires a reality, and like you said,
Mhm.
this is something you wanted to do since childhood, but then you had a block there with it. And I know I've been in this group, the Artist's Way group. It's like, if you did you ever read that book, The Artist's Way? Have you read it?
No, I didn't.
Well, they talk about, the artists, these different ways that we can block ourselves as artists. And, it sounds like to me you went through some kind of possibly a performance anxiety,
Oh,
feeling
yeah.
like you needed to be, perfect. And so if it wasn't going to be
Mhm.
perfect, you're not going to do it at all. And I remember
Totally.
going through that so much in my life too. So it just
Oh
stopped me
god.
from doing a lot of things that I felt like could have really been fun, but
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah. It's a perfectionist issue. I mean, I definitely had that growing up, like, my body was never perfect enough. Like, even just I could never even, like, in high school, I've struggled with eating disorders, like, probably freshman year through God, I mean, I'm still unpacking eating disorder issues. Um, but even that is such an example of, like, how that perfectionism mindset can just fuck up your shit. Can I swear on here?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Can
Yeah.
fuck up your shit. Like, it blocks you from just being your true authentic self, and that perfectionism is oh, man. I don't even know where I'm trying to go with that, but that's one thing that I've really struggled with and had to just be like, pray, like, every day and be like, I am perfectly imperfect, and I just have to show up as who I am because I will never be anything that I'm not."
Oh, I love that. Oh my god,
Yeah.
that's so profound. Yeah,
Ugh. That's
yeah,
that's how I feel, baby
yeah.
girl.
Well, and it's like it's funny, it's so ironic because it's the mistakes that make life so fun, and so funny.
Mhm.
Like I've been around you, like we've talked back and forth and hung out, and like you are hilarious, especially when something happens that's not perfect, or that's a mistake or whatever. Like we just laugh about it, and
Yep.
I think that is how really it's supposed to be, It's not this idea of perfectionism. I'm not even sure where that came from, uh it just doesn't seem like it's even realistic, or
Yeah.
even fun for that matter. Like who has fun being perfect? Like how what is that anyway, What is
Yeah,
perfect?
it's totally like it's a social construct, it's the media, it's like it's being shoved down your throat all the time of how you should look, how you should be, and
Right.
yeah, you like, the people that I know in my life and love so much, they're so everybody's messy,
Yeah,
and we're all
exactly.
trying
That's the perfect
like
word I was looking for there. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
everybody's messy, and we're all trying to clean up and save face, and it's like, we're all just messy together, and I love you, I love your mess, like, I wanna bathe in it, I wanna roll
Yeah.
around in your mess?
I love that. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
great. Yeah,
like,
yeah, totally.
so it's just the world, and especially being a woman too, that's
Oh,
just a whole
yeah.
other issue, yeah.
Yeah, that image that we think we have to uphold, right? Of
Yep,
whatever it is for each
yep,
person, right?
exactly, yep, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So So what's going on right now? What are you doing with your music? Are you planning on getting out there and touring a little bit more when you're able to do that, or what's your plan
Yep.
for that?
Yeah. So I think once COVID's over, I think the first hurdle was actually putting the music out there. That was the first thing. And honestly, in some respects, COVID was a blessing
Hmm.
because I wasn't forced to, go play shows or,
Right.
go play a coffee shop. It's like, no, actually, I can't do that. So that first hurdle of like, I kind of have a safe space where I can just put it out there. And the performance anxiety is just getting it out there. And then you get that feedback and you're like, okay, people like it. People are listening. I like
Yeah.
it. Um, but yeah, down the road, that's going to be another hurdle in my journey of getting comfortable with that performance anxiety. Um, but yeah, that's the plan. I mean, I would love to play shows, and um, we're working on we're working on an EP. It's kind of like all over the place. Like I feel like God just laughs at your plans or whatever that quote is. Like
Yeah, I know what
I
you
try to
mean.
plan, yeah, I try to
Yeah.
plan how my music release is going to go, what it's going to look like, and it just never is. And so we're planning an EP, but who knows what's going to happen. But there's
Right.
definitely a lot more music in the making. And um I was telling Allison about this before we started. My brother is a producer, and we just moved into a house together. He's a musician and producer, and so the entire basement, we're turning it into a studio. I mean, I'm looking at a drum kit right now. There's guitars, a bass everywhere, and so we like to get drunk and just make music on a Saturday night. So there's a lot of good music being made, and honestly, it's just for fun, but if we can
Yeah.
make something out of it, that would be amazing too. So,
Well, it's so
yeah.
funny how we do that. We say something's just for fun as if that's an insignificant point, you know?
Yeah.
But like to me at this point in my life, I'm like, if it's not fun, I'm not going to do it, you know? Like it for it to be significant, it has to be
Mhm.
fun.
Totally. That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, I feel like a pressure to like monetize
Mhm.
the product, and it's like,
Yeah.
well, mostly it's just for enjoyment and it's time spent with my brother. We can
Yeah.
spend 8 hours hanging out and making music, and it's just so much fun. It's really special time for us to bond. And yeah, like what's the pressure to monetize it? Obviously, if I could make
Yeah.
it a career, that's
Well, wouldn't
amazing.
that be
But
fun if you could make money off of it
oh,
too? Yeah.
hell yeah, that's the goal.
You just have to do it your way, you know, Gina.
Exactly.
It's like I think what when it stops being fun when you're trying to monetize something is when you're going by someone else's plan, right? A lot of times.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You're right. See, it's all full circle.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah. So you have to manifest a fun, light, and easy way for you to make money playing your music.
Yes. Yes, indeed. I know. It's been interesting too recently because I feel like not as inspired,
Mhm.
and I feel like fearful. Like I go through stages where I'm super confident, and then I'm super inspired, and all these amazing things start happening. Like, somebody who is a producer will like notice my music, and I'm like, wow, okay, we're getting somewhere. And then I just immediately, like, it'll be like the drop of a hat, feel really uninspired again and fearful.
Right.
And yeah, I'm struggling a little bit because I'm going through this stage of being like, okay, is this gonna happen? When's the next song coming out? How is it gonna look? I'm just
Mm,
trying. It's weird. It's just, I think it's just the phases of life,
absolutely. Yeah.
and the confidence ebbs and flows. So yeah, it's interesting. It was interesting that we're doing this podcast now because when you asked me, it was probably like a month ago or so.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I was super excited because I had just released Psychic in New York and like the music video and everything. And I was like,
Which
yeah,
is
this is
really
awesome.
wonderful, by the way. I love the
Oh,
video
thank
too. Yeah,
you.
yeah.
I know it's kind of fun. It's kind of a fun one. Um, but yeah, super excited. And then like slowly over the past couple of weeks, I've just been like feeling this inspiration kind of go down. And I was like, oh, I hope I can like speak well on this podcast about my music and everything, just because I'm in this rut, you know?
Yeah, I think you're doing
Yeah,
great. Well,
thank you.
I highly recommend you read that book, The Artist's Way. I think you would really like it. I think that
Yeah,
would
yeah.
be exactly up your alley as far as like learning the creative process, because learning the creative process is about it's about the feminine, really. It's
Mm,
about finding that flow, being learning how to be and receive, which part of
mm,
that is money, right?
right.
And doing too, but finding the balance between those two things, because generally I think we've learned that the creative process is more about the doing than it is about the being and the receiving,
Mm,
right?
mhm, mhm. Yeah, yeah. Well, and it's like it's interesting that, we went to this retreat together, and it was this what was it called? The Feminine Surrender?
Oh yeah, the feminine surrender. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
like, I mean, I know we've all talked about it, like we all kind of struggled with dropping into our feminine,
Yeah.
and we're
Yeah.
all, you're a business owner, everything's masculine minded. Um just go, go, go all the time. And I feel like I have been in a state of that for a long time as well. And
Yeah.
so I do feel like doing a lot of work around the feminine has allowed me to drop into that like creative space. Um, so yeah, I think, yeah, I kind of forget what the point was. Sorry.
That's okay.
I
We're
forget
talking
the
about
point of my
feminine
story.
and doing and finding the balance between doing instead of and being and receiving, right? So,
Yes.
there's it's a flow, right? So it's like
Hmm.
I think and this is I've written a lot. I've written a book, and so this is
Mm.
part of what's
Go
in my
girl.
book. I talk thank you.
Yeah.
I talk about how you know the way we learn in our society, and I've seen this a lot in my practice before, is very linear, right?
Mhm.
It's like we keep doing this, we keep climbing that ladder, going up, 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 up. But then when something happens where we kind of come back down, it feels like we're not progressing, or it feels like we've lost our inspiration, or it feels like you know we aren't doing enough, or something like that.
Mhm.
Or we've lost what we've learned. A lot of times when the people are in the gym and they're like, "Oh, I feel like I'm starting back from square one." Well, you're not really. It's
Mhm.
that labyrinth. It's the path of the labyrinth, right? So we're circling out, and then we're circling back in. It's a circle more so than it is linear.
Mhm.
So the way we learn is we take in the information, we integrate it, and then we return it back out. And
Mhm.
so there has to be an element of receiving, and in order to receive, you have to have created the space to
Mhm.
be calm enough with yourself, and be still enough with yourself to receive the new stuff, right?
Mhm. Yep. Yeah,
and
that
and
totally
with
makes
that,
sense.
yeah, and clear the space as well. So like old
Mhm.
stuff needs to go, right?
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I think that's an interesting way to look at it in terms of, like, writing music too. So,
Yeah.
like, a lot of the music or and just, like, recording, a lot of the songs that we have written over the last couple of years, we've demoed them, so we have all of them. Sorry, something just popped up on my screen.
Oh,
Can
that's
you
okay.
see me?
Yeah, I can see you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, oh, sorry. Okay.
Okay.
Um, ah, okay. Shit's going crazy.
Oh no.
Um, yeah, so, yeah, over the past couple years, we've, demoed these songs, and I mean, Sig and I have been writing music together for 6 years. Like, I was 19 when we started, and we just like, the very first song that I recorded when I was 19, we just released. So, like, 6 years later, and by
Wow.
the time I released it, I felt so, like, it was to me, it felt really tired and, like, outdated,
Mm.
and although it was received well, I was like I wasn't as excited about it because the messaging and the experience that led to me writing that song was gone. Like, I had
Oh, right.
emotionally left it.
Mhm.
Um, so now it's like when we try to go back and record music that's a little bit older, it feels like the messaging is not quite, like, aligned with who I am at that point in time.
Yeah, yeah.
So, like, talking about, like, just linear and circular stuff, like, it's kind of like, yeah, you kinda have to, like, let go a little bit to receive and write and experience life and go through life and experience more in order to keep creating new stuff instead of just returning back to the well of what you've already
Yeah.
done.
That's so
Yeah,
true. I love that. Yeah, that's very
yeah,
true.
so, yeah, the creative process.
Yeah,
It's the
totally.
journey.
And it can
Yeah,
really that's the journey, I know.
yeah,
It can relate to everything you do,
totally.
everything. Creating a
Yeah,
body, creating a new habit, creating
mhm,
music, art, whatever you want to create, your life.
yep,
And I also see it as each time you return back to something, you're learning something new about it too. And like you
mhm,
said, you're also letting go of the stuff that you don't need anymore. Like you may not
yep,
need to go back to that old stuff anymore. You may have learned
mhm,
everything you need to from that,
totally.
ready for something different. So,
Mhm,
and
yep,
and I
yep,
think that's what's hardest for people is to really acknowledge that, um that you don't need to take everything with you, right? It's like
mhm,
I don't know what it is, if it's a scarcity thing or if it's just the need to kind of not let anything go,
mhm,
but I think that it's it's so nice to let stuff that even just energetically that's not serving you anymore
mhm,
like that, just in it's
totally.
yeah.
Yeah, and music is such a powerful, powerful tool for me to process my sadness because I do typically hide my sadness under humor or, this kind of like this entertainment facade. So for me to go downstairs to my room, to sit at my piano and just kind of sit there and like be sad and speak it. It's like I'm telling God that I'm sad and I'm
Yeah.
acknowledging my sadness. And it's done in this very therapeutic way. And um, just like singing it out, it's emotion, like it's just pure emotion. And I'm
Yeah.
able to process my sadness, you know? So
That's
it's
incredible.
for me, I'm happy with what I create, but for me, honestly, it's changed to the way that I process my sadness and my grief, and it's this amazing outlet to let it out, you know?
Yeah, what a gift you have there to be able to process it that way. That's
Mhm.
amazing. I love
Yeah,
that.
I know, me too.
Yeah. I know, you're like, "Wow, I didn't
Oh,
even
so
think
much.
about that," but,
Yeah,
that's really
yes.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and it is funny because I have done that too. I've hid my sadness or really the way I really feel, with humor many times in my
Mhm,
life,
mhm.
acting as if everything's okay or suppressing those feelings. And I think it's humor is great. I love humor.
Oh,
uh,
it's a blessing.
yeah, and
Yeah,
we have to be coming from an authentic place with it, right? So like if we're really
exactly.
not feeling that way, then it doesn't serve us to suppress our feelings. So I think that the way you're doing it is so it's just a wonderful way to do it in a way that where you're making art, but you're also healing yourself, which is
Yep.
incredible.
Oh, yeah, I definitely feel like I feel right now that I have become the best version of myself just by releasing my music. Like, even my mom,
Mm.
I'll talk to my mom about it, and I'm like, I feel like as soon as I released "How Can I Believe You," and we were in Palm Springs together when that
Yes,
first song came
that's
out.
right. Yeah,
Yeah, it was so fun.
that was so fun.
Oh, yeah. God, what a trip. But yeah, so, like, as soon as that first song came out, I actually feel like energetically everything kind of shifted for me. Like,
Yeah.
something clicked. My confidence went through the roof. Like, I felt like I had healed like body image issues
Wow.
and being seen, like just people seeing my music, hearing me, it was like finally something just
Mm,
clicked.
that's
And
amazing.
yeah, and I mean even like yeah, my mom will say, I feel like I know exactly. I mean, me and my mom are like this, so she knows all my energies, and she's like, I
Right.
actually really feel like energetically you changed too. Like just feeling so much better about everything. My sadness kind of lifted.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like it was actually like the ending journey of the beginning of this breakup. It was like we had come full
Yeah.
circle and I had healed this really sad part of myself and this I'd done all this healing work and I finally like was reaping the rewards of it
Oh,
just by
yeah.
releasing this.
Right. Yeah, you were able to let it go and grieve, and also, you weren't holding it in your body anymore. Like
Mhm.
that's hard, right? To hold that
Yeah.
all the time.
Oh God, yeah. I know. And it was like this feeling of it, letting your grief out, celebrating it. Like I have so much gratitude for that whole experience, like that whole breakup. I just am like, thank you, God, because it made me a way better person. And I'm here and I'm so proud of who I am. And that's because of music.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it wasn't your I mean, I don't know how much of this you want to share with my audience, but it definitely wasn't your
Mm.
average breakup, and it was definitely a very hard uh dark, I guess, in some ways.
Yes.
So you
Yeah.
did go
Very dark.
through a lot of trauma with that, actually. So
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
Oh, I want to be able to share, but I also want to respect the parties
absolutely.
involved.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it was some traumatic events happened. And yeah, it was really hard and it was a dark time in my life. Um, yeah, I think that's all I'll say.
No, that's okay. I just wanted to,
Yeah.
give people perspective of, that it was, not to say that not every breakup is
Right.
traumatic, but this was a
Right.
little bit different. But anyway,
Yeah.
I think that you it was not serving you. It was actually probably in some ways keeping you unhealthy to not
Mhm.
express that. So that kind of
Totally.
trauma is,
Mhm.
I think, really good to be able to express it also through music. And I'm hearing my
Yeah.
echo for some reason.
You are?
Yeah. All of a sudden I just heard it. Okay,
Uh-oh.
that's better. Wait, no,
Okay.
wait. Hold on. Let me talk for a second.
No, okay.
Now I got it. Okay, that's good.
You're good.
Yeah.
Wait, wait, wait,
I
wait.
don't know. Yeah. Yeah, it's a
Hello, 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 hello.
I know it just messes with your head when you hear your own voice echoing
Oh,
like that. You know what I mean?
100%.
I'm just like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I can't talk right now because every time I say something, I hear my voice again."
Yeah,
Um,
I feel you. I
so
feel it.
yeah, but thank you for sharing that, and I totally respect that. I don't want you to say anything you don't want to share, and I
Yeah,
have
for
respect
sure.
for the other person. But
Yep.
and I think I think what I was trying to get there is just the magnitude of how powerful creative expression can be in really healing us, both an emotional and a spiritual level, right?
Yep. Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know, and, like, on the flip of that too, like, uh, when you're going through traumatic events, um, to think about, like, how uncomfortable and painful they are, to think about where you're gonna go when you're on the other side, and how you whatever healing modalities you're using, like, it's gonna be so good. Like, the trauma in some way it's a blessing because it it makes your soul move. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it breaks your soul free a little bit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm grateful for it.
That's wonderful. I love that. I
Yeah,
love how you put that.
yeah.
Make sure it frees your soul, liberates
It
you.
does.
Yeah.
It does. Gotta
Yeah.
let that freak flag fly,
That's right.
baby.
You do. You do. Well, do you
Yeah.
think you're ever going to get back into comedy or try to go that route at some point?
Gosh, I would love to. If I can tackle this, if if I can tackle my stage fright through music, oh hell yeah, I will definitely do some comedy. Um, it's funny. I was like thinking about, is this, am I, can I move forward?
Yeah,
Like, is
yeah.
this being videotaped? Okay. I'm going
You
to,
can. Yeah.
okay. Um, God, I look like hell.
No, you don't.
Um, so I was, when, you asked me to do this, you're like, you want to talk about your comedy? And I was like, oh man, I haven't done any, like, haven't done any comedy. But I used to make my friends like sit down on the couch. I'd be like, just sit there. I'm gonna just do a comedy bit. And I would have like no material. I'm like 9, and I'd just get up and be like, hey guys, have you ever gone poop and you wondered, I don't remember eating corn? And that was
Oh,
my joke every time, and
that's
then that was
hilarious.
it. Yeah, that was my joke. So I was like, if I ever do comedy actually and I write a bit, that's gonna be my first joke, because I have to pay homage to little
Yes.
Gina just
Little 9-year-old
using,
Gina.
yeah, using
Yeah.
poop humor and making her friends sit down and watch her. So bad.
Well, and that's how it starts, that's it's our love of something when we're kids. Those are our true desires in my opinion, and that's what we
Oh,
really.
totally.
Yeah, we ignore that as we get older, Of course, you're not gonna do everything that you want to do when you're a kid. I mean, but, there's some things that you can do, that maybe you put on the back burner for life
Mhm.
as you got older. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. I know when I was a kid, I wanted to be a dolphin trainer, I wanted to be a hairstylist, I wanted to be an editor of a fashion magazine, I wanted to be a singer-actress, and I was like, "Okay, how can I do all of these things?" You know? I still have to go to dolphin training school, but
Yeah.
someday. Yeah.
Hey, you never there's some people that do it, so it's possible, right?
Yeah. Shit, man,
Yeah.
we gotta make it the best. Gotta make
E
our lives the best possible, you
exactly.
know?
I agree
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, why not
Yeah.
be a dolphin trainer? Hey, it's not too
God.
late, Gina.
I know. I'm ready. Let's go. We're going to SeaWorld.
Well, is there even a SeaWorld left? I don't even
I
think they're
know.
doing that stuff anymore. You have
That's
to go to
true.
Hawaii. You have to go and do that with, connect with the wild dolphins out there.
Oh gosh. Yes.
Wouldn't that be
I love
amazing?
them.
Yeah.
Yes, it'd be beautiful. Yep. But yeah, so someday, hopefully, I'll write a bit and get up and do some comedy for sure.
Well, please tell me. Let me know when
I
you do
will.
that because I will be
I
there
will.
front and center, laughing my
Hell
ass
yeah.
off.
Yes. Oh gosh. That would be really fun.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
Well, Gina, please leave everybody with some info about how to find your music, what your plans are, how do they know? Do you have like a newsletter or something? Is there a way to kind of keep, or actually Instagram's probably better, isn't it? To keep up with
Yeah.
the whole thing? Okay.
Yeah, so I don't really have anything because I'm just freeballing it right now. But I you can find me on Instagram. So it's Gigi Gigi underscore 4 underscores music.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, and because there's like a million Gigi musics out there. So maybe someday I'm actually gonna have a name change, but that's for a later date.
Right.
So yeah, you can find me on Instagram. I'm across all music platforms. So you can find me on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube's, all the other ones that I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay.
But yeah,
You're
yeah,
on YouTube, you said? You are on YouTube?
yes.
Yeah, because your
Mhm.
videos, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we have 3 songs out right now. They're all singles. Working on hopefully an EP, more singles to come too. But yeah, I hope you guys out there in Radio Land give my music a listen and enjoy it because I like it.
I do too. I think it's wonderful. Oh my god, it's
Yeah.
just so
Oh, thank you.
nice to dance to and very chill and, oh, upbeat too, actually, but yeah, just, like, it's really good. It's got a good flow to it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
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 I like it too.
yeah,
I'm
it's great.
stoked.
I'm
Yeah.
glad you like it. You should be
Hell
liking
yeah.
it.
Yep.
So, okay, great. Well, they can follow. I'll put all those links on the show notes, and so they can go and check your music out, and also just keep up to date with whatever's going on
All
in the
right.
future. All right.
All right, well, thanks for having me. This was so much
Yeah. Thanks for
fun. I'm
coming on. It
excited to
was
see you killing the game too.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been fun. It's been a very it's been a growing year, I should say. Like 2020 was a growing year for me.
Oh,
It
yeah.
pushed me outside the limits that I had placed upon myself. So
Mm,
I just, and also things I've just been putting off, like in my
mhm,
creative stuff. I just if I didn't realize how comfortable in my life was just I wasn't really
mm,
pushing myself to do things that I really wanted to do. And then, I just made excuses like I'm too busy, I've got too many
mhm.
clients, I've got a full schedule, I don't have time for this. And then,
Totally.
the universe is like, now you do.
Yeah. I know.
I
God,
mean,
isn't that so
and it's
interesting?
funny because I'm still super busy. I'm probably more busy with clients than I ever have been, but
Mhm.
now I'm not driving anywhere. So that time that I don't have to spend doing that gives me the time to do all the other stuff. So
Totally. I
it,
know.
it's kind of
It's
magical.
it is, it was a blessing. I think I mean, obviously not for people that were ill and died and
Right.
everything, but I was lucky enough, a lot of my friends and family, we were able to work from home and, yeah, I've have had so many conversations with people that say this gift of time has totally changed the trajectory of their career or their spiritual journey or just who they are. And I'm like, wow, it's been a blessing. And it's sad. I mean, I miss the bars. I miss dancing my ass off, but
I bet you do. Yeah.
yeah, I'll be back
Yeah.
in
Can't wait.
2022. You can catch
I
me
love
at
watching you dance. It's like or I love dancing with you too, like, not just watching you
yeah.
dance, that's weird, but yeah,
Oh,
okay.
hey,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I
I
can't
can't
wait to we're
yeah.
gonna go dancing as soon as this is over. We'll get the gals together and we'll go dancing.
Yeah, definitely, I cannot wait, that's gonna be so much fun. We have
Ah,
everybody's kinda closer together now, so we're all
mhm.
kinda think
That's
on the
right.
same side of the United States
Yep, we're
for the
all
most
West
part.
Coasters now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so, we're
Yep.
good to go, yeah.
All
Well,
right.
I'm gonna come out there and visit you sometime soon too at some point, but
Yes,
yeah,
please do.
yeah,
Yeah. Yes, that would be so much fun.
okay. All right, Gina, thank you. Thanks for
Okay,
coming on.
thank
It's been a
you.
pleasure.
Bye.
Bye.